Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome into the Morning Roast on Maine Sports Leader 92.9. The Ticket. The Roast is presented by Next Home Experience. They're the market leader. Get looped and get sold with the Next Home Experience. We're in the Greenway Equipment Studios, your locally owned John Deere dealer. See the Smith Brothers in Bangor and Ellsworth because nothing runs like a deer. And Bangor Window Shade and Drapery, offering custom shades, blinds, drapes, outdoor awnings. Bangor Window Shade, 105 Main Street in Bangor. Brian Sullivan, Tyler Krusz, Marqus Cesar here on this Thursday morning. Marcus, how you holding up?
I'm good. Yeah, so I had gotten home, took a big nap, and I think I woke up around 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I wake up to text from my dad like, "Are you seeing this Argentina game? It's crazy. It's going nuts. England's playing so good." Yeah, not for long, but I caught the second half, and Argentina really swung back.
Yeah, they really did. Argentina tops England 2-1, so they advance to the World Cup final, which will be Argentina and Spain on Sunday. Tough with the World Cup that the teams that lose these games, then you got to play for third place.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I get to fight for being bottom of the totem pole. Fantastic.
Yeah, the third place game is intriguing. I guess they have that in the Olympics as well. But yesterday it did appear as though England was going to go head-to-head, or they did go head-to-head with Argentina. But in the end, Messi is so good. He just, he's just a facilitator out there. He makes it happen, and they get a couple of goals and advance 2-1 in your World Cup final. So other stuff going on out there. You got the Open Championship teeing off from Royal Birkdale in Southport, England. We'll see if Scotty Scheffler can lead that one. So the early start to the golf for us.
Yeah, true. And so, I don't pay a lot of attention to golf, but I sort of have lately. I mean, I hear all this fun stuff about Scotty Scheffler, but I just haven't seen it since I started paying attention.
Started paying attention a little late.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'll be the first one to tell you. But, I mean, didn't really show up in the Masters until last couple days, right?
No, he just missed his first cut in 78 straight tournaments or something like that this past weekend.
Scotty Scheffler, done?
No.
Yeah. How you doing, Tyler?
Doing well. How are you? Better now.
Yeah. I'm well. I've been just catching up with Marcus about all the things going on with the soccer game yesterday. Did you catch Argentina versus England?
I saw a little bit of it. I am very excited to see Messi versus Spain. I think that's going to be a great final.
So that is going to be a Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as all championships should be settled right there in East Rutherford. What's going on in your life there, Tyler? How you doing? How you holding up?
Not much. I'm going down to a lake house this weekend down in somewhere near Freiburg. I don't know, with Hannah's parents, and we're doing the Saco River, floating down there for a couple hours on Saturday. Yeah. It should be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you bevs are going to be included?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we got one of those a little a float thing that's specifically made for a cooler last night at Walmart. Yeah.
Very nice.
Also picked up Scrabble, and I still got it.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Okay. Good. So what else? So this is that spot where we get ready to reset. We got Tyler's tickets coming up. I wonder who they're going to be issued to. But coming in this morning, just thinking about it's really the Boston Red Sox, which reign supreme at the moment for me. And now I think what you've got coming up here is a spot where they got a lot of baseball at home. And I wonder, Tyler, what is it that you want from this Boston Red Sox team?
Oh, man. I mean, every time I watch them, I want them to win. But, if we make the wild card as a near 500 team and, continue to win, then that's just going to give us an excuse to keep rolling out Craig Breslow, which, they're working right now, this team, but, he didn't plan on Anthony Siegler being this or Jake Bennett or Peyton Tolley throwing 3 games straight on 4 days rest. This wasn't the roster that he kind of put together and said, all right, let's go have a season. And credit to the players, man. Credit to Chad Tracy. It's kind of like last year. It feels like last year where they've got a bunch of platoon guys kind of just playing over their heads. Andrew Monasterio, you've got, I mentioned Siegler's playing really well. Zuen Chen's playing really well. We're getting a lot out of Connor Wong. It's just guys we didn't really expect. So someone's pushing the right buttons in the dugout or a clubhouse or something. Or maybe it's Wilson Contreras, stepping up and being a leader. Maybe it's addition by subtraction without the hurt little babies over there. We sent them down to Florida.
So I think what you've got here is a moment in time where we're going to watch this baseball team I would think figure out what path you're going to travel, because the things that you're mentioning there are Craig Breslow and what he didn't plan for and did plan for. But if you play well and it's attributed to Craig Breslow, well, then Craig Breslow is still probably going to be in charge.
That's what I'm saying,
right?
Yeah.
Or the other path is that you fire Craig Breslow, you tear it down, and you start over. And is that what you want? Would you like to see this team start over?
I don't think you necessarily have to start over if you get rid of Craig Breslow. Like, you're not firing
He's the
Craig.
chief baseball officer.
Yeah, I know, but you're not dumping the roster. Like Wilson Contreras is still going to be there. Garrett Crochet is still going to be there. Like these guys are still going to be on the team. You'll have a GM that, maybe has to make a Sonny Gray decision next year. It all depends on, I think, what direction they want to go in at the deadline, right? Like, it's a weak American League. You've got a chance to make a wild card in a weak American League, which sets you up for the Rays or the Yankees or the Guardians or somebody like that when you get to the playoffs. Do you think this team can make a push? If yes, then it looks like we are missing out on any sort of return for Sonny Gray or for Aroldis Chapman or for any of these guys. And Gray's making $40 million this year. We're only paying him $20, but he's making $40. Do you think they're going to re-sign him next year? If not, then you kind of want to see some return for him. But the minute you trade him, the minute one of those pieces hits the door, morale goes, and you kind of have given the locker room a vote of no confidence, and then that shows up. So it's a tricky, them going on this 9-game win streak it puts them in a really tricky spot.
I think it keeps going, right? It's an open audition. When do you ever in baseball see it right in front of you like this? It's going to be July 17th. They're going to play 2 games against the Rays, and then you've got a sprint to August 3rd. And I think there's probably some dividing line where if you go 7 out of 10, whatever, there's some line. 500, maybe not good enough, right? At home, they've been so bad at home. They've been so bad at Fenway, really bad against the division. You got 3 series against the division at Fenway Park. Get busy living or get busy dying, right? Like, you got to show us right in here. Now or never.
You go 500 for the rest of the year, you finish 2 games under, which this year it's probably good enough for a wild card spot.
It's not good enough.
Not good enough for us. No, I don't want a wild card spot. That's not what we're the Boston Red Sox. Like I said this last year, I'm not jumping up and down and throwing a parade because we got the 3rd wild card spot and then got beat by the Yankees in a 3-game series. Like, that's not what we should expect of this team. This team should be a pennant contender. This team should be a championship contender. And they told us this was going to be a championship contender this year. And that's why, even though we're on a 9-game winning streak, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
What if they keep winning?
Then, it gets a little sunnier and you get a little colors.
At a certain spot, you got to keep Sonny Gray. At a certain spot, you got to keep Aroldis Chapman.
If you keep winning, yeah.
Marcus, what do you think?
I mean, I'm getting to the point where I would love to keep this team together. But once again, when does it get to the point where Breslow is just over it? And I don't really know how to vocalize what I'm feeling right now. I'm very torn. I'm really, really torn. Part of me does just kind of want to blow it up, get rid of some of these guys, try and get anything, really. But, things are turning around.
I think you got a lot of decisions to make as well here, too. And some of the things Breslow's done, they've
worked out, yeah.
Yeah, they've worked out.
It depends on who you get back for Sonny Gray, too. If you flip Sonny Gray and you have a Bobby Witt coming back, I'm fine with that. And it's a little different than last year where the pitching is running you. Where the question, how sustainable is it? Well, pretty sustainable. I like these pitchers, and last year you were like, oh, how sustainable is it? Well, Nathaniel Lowe's not going to hit this well forever, and all those guys on the offensive side aren't going to do this forever. This year you're kind of doing it with pitching, and it doesn't really look like, I don't think Sonny Gray is going to take a wild downturn in the second half of the year. Same with Ranger Suarez. If anything, you get back Garrett Crochet. Jake Bennett's been very good. I don't see the pitching going anywhere.
Let's hear from 98.5's Mark Dondero about where this team is and who should be held accountable.
That's exactly how I feel. It's so hard to be angry after a 9-game winning streak like that, or like fiery about, I don't want to let John Henry win, but that is precisely how I feel. Yeah, you're on a 9-game winning streak, but like, where are my days where we had 6 Red Sox on the All-Star team, and 3 of them in the starting lineup, and you either had the starting pitcher or the guy that came in second, and the second best closer out there. Gone are those days, and that's just kind of what I miss, and that's what angers me a little bit. But they're winning, and I'm a Red Sox fan, and I turn on the TV and I see the Red Sox winning, and it's hard for me to come in here and feign anger.
All right, we can do a lot of Red Sox stuff all morning long. Take a quick commercial break. Tyler's tickets will be issued as well. Also want to tell you about McDelivery through Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, 2 sausage McMuffins, 2 hotcakes, 4 hash browns, 4 small hot coffees, all for just $19.99. This bundle deal is over 40% off and for a limited time. Order at your local family-owned McDonald's on Main Street and Union Street in Bangor, and Wilson Street in Brewer. And Madden Generator Services with expert installation, dependable maintenance, and a free 7-year warranty on a new Generac install. Keep your home in the game, 951-4668. Madden Generator Services, power you can count on. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the Morning Roast. Time for Tyler's tickets. Roast presented by Dairy Queen in Old Town. DQ $7 chicken strip meal deal has it all. 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a DQ sundae. All for just $7. Now you can get it with the new honey sriracha dip, 613 Stillwater Avenue in Old Town. All right, Tyler, what's on your mind?
Well, I want to start with some football, but you just got me a little angry in the break, so we'll pivot back to some baseball after that. I'm going to start with the Patriots, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday with Hirsch, but Christian Gonzalez still unsigned, still does not have, well, he's signed through the year, but still does not have that contract extension that he wants, and you've got a ticking clock, man. You've got 8 days. Next Friday, the veterans show up into camp, and the last thing you need on this Patriots team is a superstar with an attitude for a reason at camp. The last thing you need is a disgruntled star who is one of your most important positions. Probably your most important position on the defensive end is Christian Gonzalez, or your best player on the defensive end, Christian Gonzalez. Look, this is a team, you just made the Super Bowl. You've got a quarterback who finished second in MVP voting. You paired him with A.J. Brown. They've done a ton of good things in the offseason. They've got to re-sign Christian Gonzalez. I think he's a top 3 cornerback in the league. And unlike the Belichick system, where you, for years, just were like, all right, Darrelle Revis is out of here. Let's plug and play this guy. Stephon Gilmore out of here. J.C. Jackson, you're up. And it was just like the next man up. And the next man seemed to be just as good as the last because of the system. I don't think that day is, I don't think that's the same thing that we're looking at with this team. I don't think if you remove Christian Gonzalez, you're not going to have a next man up be anywhere near as effective as him. And it's important. It's important not to have a disgruntled superstar, specifically at this training camp when your coach might not be standing on the, highest ground above his players as he was last year. Like a couple of guys undermining the head coach is all it's going to take, and you don't need one of your superstars doing that.
See, I think we're past that. Mike Vrabel's back. But all that stuff, I think, maybe a couple of questions out of the gate when he goes to a visiting.
I don't think the media is going to ask. I do think, anytime there's a superstar undermining a coach, it's a bad thing. And when that coach had the offseason that Mike Vrabel had, that can't be a good combination.
So what do you think the holdup is with this?
I don't know. I don't know if they are debating on whether or not they want to pay him, if they're looking at Carlton Davis and saying, what do you got for us? Maybe Gonzalez wants to reset the market and they don't want him to, but I think he's deserved what he wants. I think if he wants to reset the market, he deserves that pay tag. He deserves that price tag next to him, and he'll probably get it somewhere else if you're not going to give it to him.
Right. I don't think it comes to that. It just feels like, don't these things usually take a little bit of time? I mean, I guess I do wonder what the holdup is, because there's a couple of possibilities here where you look at the return that the Colts got to trade Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks. Okay, you can. Perhaps, it takes 2 to tango, but perhaps there's a thought there. Perhaps there's a game of chicken with he and the cornerback from the Seahawks, who each want to be the highest paid player in the league, which what'll probably end up happening is Gonzalez signs and then Witherspoon signs a day later for $1 million more, right? Something like that. And then it's the fine print of it all. How much guaranteed money do you want? The Patriots, I think, what you always hear, though, is that the Patriots are very interested in making sure that you get your money by being on the field, right? So, the guarantees of it all, and okay, we'll give you X amount guaranteed, but your salary is going to be tied to $1 million a game, roster bonuses, playing X amount of snaps, and things like that. Patriots are pretty, I would say, stingy when it comes to just giving you it all out there for a guy who's had some hamstring issues, and it's like you're the greatest guy until you get to a contract negotiation, right? Yeah. It's just so you wonder the fine print, and then sometimes when you go through those contract negotiations, it's hard. Feelings can be hurt, Yeah, I'm the greatest, and then you get down to the brass tacks of it all. It's like, well, if I look at this metric here and this metric there, you're really only the 7th best in the league, and you're probably not warranted of this. So, yeah, you wonder how much of that is going on. But I would think that this is a guy you drafted. This is a guy who had a great game in the Super Bowl for everyone to see. And that's, in the locker room, the guy who gets rewarded with a new contract.
Yes, it is. And typically it is, and it should be. And this is exactly why I look at this and I say, what's the holdup? Camp starts in a week. Like, the last thing we want, and we've been looking forward for training camp for a while. Up until 9 games ago, the Red Sox haven't given us anything to cheer for. You know, like this Patriots training camp, it's been circled on our calendars all summer long. The last thing we need is a Christian Gonzalez holdout.
So the other thing that's going on here, too, and I think this perhaps deserves a commendation. Give me this Burp Rear bite from, give me number 4 there on Keyshawn Boutte. So it's an interesting spot, but I think it also speaks to what the Patriots, how they operate. Like, they care about this. This stuff matters to them. So it makes me feel like if they care about putting Keyshawn Boutte in the best landing spot for his career, they're going to eventually take care of Christian Gonzalez, right? Like this, I think this gets done. He probably sets the market, and it's unpatriot-like to do this, right? To have a guy who warrants top of the market money, and to pay him top of the market money,
rather than get rid of him a year early. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think based on all that, it all, over the course of the next week, maybe there's a hold in where Gonzalez is there, not participating. I think if it gets to camp and Gonzalez isn't physically in Foxborough, that's when you can get worried about it. But if he shows up on day one and is on the bike and it's sort of agents working over things, like he's in Aruba right now, hey, we're and as a matter of good faith, we're pretty close. Come on in. We'll get in a room together, and over the course of 2 days, we'll get this thing solidified. That's what I think happens. That's my expectation, is that within the first week of training camp, if not before, Christian Gonzalez is signed for a mega contract.
Yeah, the first week of training camp ends in about 2 weeks, I think this has to happen next week. I don't think you want any drama, any stories that aren't football related in that first week of camp.
So what I'd say is, if Christian Gonzalez is not there physically in camp on day one, then we're worried. Then it's, okay, where's he going to be playing? Why isn't he here? Because then you're messing with his money. Then he's getting fined for not being there, and he's sacrificing financial capital. So that's I think when you can start being concerned about all that. Okay, start your morning at Gosselin's Bakery, 334 Hollow Street in Bangor. Grab a breakfast sandwich on English muffin or a croissant plus legendary donuts. Pastries made since 1945. Visit the new Gosselin's Bakery and Deli next to Hannaford in Brewer. And Uno Pizzeria and Grill, they have late night deals every night. Bar lunch, 9 p.m. to close. $6 apps, $5 cheeseburgers, $5 Indy cheese or pepperoni deep dish, 725 Stillwater Avenue in Bangor. Okay, welcome back to the Morning Roast. The UMaine Athletics squad bunch, the football is coming this fall. It's time to pack the stands at Alphon Stadium and cheer on Maine football. Don't miss the excitement, the tradition, and the Black Bear pride all season long. Season tickets are on sale now and give you the best value. Seats for every home game. Visit goblackbears.com/tickets today. Secure your tickets, and oh, by the way, go blue. Okay, with all this that's going on with the Boston Celtics, we have seen, Tyler just showed me a video of Joe Mazzulla.
Like sparring?
MMA training.
Yeah.
And he looks ripped. He looks like he should be in 300, there by Gerard Butler. So give me just number 5 here on Mazzulla's martial arts training.
He's there's a certain level of psycho if you're past a certain age and still doing like combat sports like that. And like just like for fun, like just in your free time, like you're not getting paid, you're not an Olympian, you're just kind of like doing it. There's a certain level of psycho you have to be to still be doing MMA, and there are people out there that are doing MMA, judo, like in their 30s, and yeah, there's a certain level of psycho there. Also, Joe Mazzulla is younger than Mike Conley, who the Celtics just traded for or signed.
Does Joe Mazzulla, being an MMA enthusiast who is in incredible shape and probably the toughest NBA coach in the league, make you like him more, make you like him less, make you want him to stick around, enjoy the Mazzulla-ness that we seem to have given over the squad to?
Well, it makes me like him more because I'd be afraid to answer that question any other way after seeing that video. But no, it does. Like he's a guy that knows what it's like to kind of compete, and he says he compares his like coaching to the MMA stuff, and it's part of who Joe Mazzulla is, and that's what makes me like him. And it just kind of adds to that. I do want to see him stick around. I do want to see. We'll see what Mazzulla ball is like when it's, pure Mazzulla ball without someone kind of just like going rogue in the middle of the game and doing their own thing.
Do you think that it really is giving in to Mazzulla ball, right? Because you're the big proponent, and I've come around to you a little bit of that. Jaylen Brown was that sort of rogue agent, right? Like elbow jumpers, not being able to go left, turn the ball over. Those aren't the things that Mazzulla ball is. Mazzulla ball is whipping it around the perimeter. The path to a 2004 championship was Mazzulla ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and playing defense too. Like that's a big part of Mazzulla ball. And Jaylen Brown off-ball defense isn't that good. He's great as an on-ball defender, but off-ball defense not that great. And I think that it's whipping it around. It's finding the best shot. It's a quick two is better than a quick three is better than a contested two that takes a lot of the shot clock. I do think that this is going to be an exciting year to watch, and I think that it's the move that Brad made seemed to be kind of like a vote of confidence in Mazzulla ball.
How does Mitchell Robinson factor into that, do you think?
He fires me up. I think it's going to be great. I think he's a great defensive big. I think that helps a lot. I think once you learn how to shoot free throws and you can keep them on the floor, you've got you just re-signed Neemias Queta too. You've got two guys that's a pretty good front court. After really not having a front court last year, you've got two guys that could be starters.
Do you feel like in the wake of the Jaylen Brown move, like, are you feeling better about the direction of the Celtics after it? Because when it first happened, I mean, it was jarring. It's jarring to live in the world where Jaylen Brown's no longer on the Celtics after 9 years. But have you come? I mean, I know you pretty much were around on it, right out of the gate. But are you feeling like the direction of the team is something you like?
Yeah, I do. I think, Paul George has an expiring offer after next year, so you really only have to keep him around for 1 year. You've got that 2028 pick that is going to be the best of either the Clippers or the 76ers, and the Clippers just, once that Kawhi trade goes through, they have the worst roster in the NBA by far, and it's not going to change in a matter of 2-3 years. You look at the Pistons. They drafted Cade Cunningham 1 overall in 2020 or 2021, and it took them quite a few years to actually reap the benefits of that. I think that you've got a great spot for the back end of Jason Tatum's prime. He's 28 years old, you're in a great spot to support him through his 30s.
I also think it's going to be interesting to see how it all works in Philadelphia, where
I don't think it's going to work. That's what it's funny to think of because all three of those guys really need the ball. They're all, in talks with LeBron. And like a year ago, you had that video of Jaylen Brown saying LeBron's son is only in the NBA because of his dad. Like, I don't think LeBron's going to go on a team up with him right away. And
it's really Embiid's team, right? It's Joel Embiid's team, and he's just not really that guy anymore.
Yeah, until he's gone. They've tried to transition it to be Maxi's team, but as long as Embiid's still there, it's going to be Embiid's team.
And now you got Jaylen Brown coming in there. And he likes to get on Twitch. And I wonder what it's going to be like.
And he likes to talk about Joel Embiid on Twitch.
Yeah.
He did that in the middle of the series last year. I think it's going to be an experiment that it doesn't work. I think Brad Stevens is like, where can we send this guy where he can stand in the corner and call for the ball and get frustrated for 48 minutes? And that's where he is.
And Philadelphia is where it ends up. Okay, Bangor Mall Cinemas, Greater Bangor's favorite hometown theater. For over 40 years, Bangor Mall Cinemas features luxury recliners, upgraded food menu. Find showtimes and reserve your seat at yourneighborhoodtheater.com. You better get on that website and book it in advance because this is the Odyssey weekend.
Yeah.
People are pretty fired up for this. I saw it, 98% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, all right. I might have to carve out some time.
There you go. I think it's a little bit long, so carve out a lot of time. But there you go. Book your seats in advance. yourneighborhoodtheater.com. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the Morning Roast Show, brought to you in part by Hero Sports Grill and Entertainment Center. Hero's the official sports grill of the roast and the place to be in downtown Bangor at herosportsgrill.com. 992-9029. It is a spot where if you got some thoughts on the Red Sox, feel free to let us know. 992-9029, because I think it comes to this point where what do you want? What do you want to have happen moving forward? Because you can be frustrated and unhappy with the way that it came out of the gate, but they've won games, and so I just wonder where they go from here. If Craig Breslow is Craig Breslow making the decisions, right? Like, are you ready to give up on, let me just name some names. Marcelo Meyer.
Yes. Because you have Arias in AA.
Christian Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, he is a non-factor in AAA. He's not even impacting the team. He's hitting like 200.
Brian Bayo.
Yeah, out of the bullpen right now. Brian Bayo, and this is because of the depth you have. Like, okay with giving away Christian Campbell because Anthony Siegler's been so good. Okay with giving away Marcelo Meyer because Franklin Arias in Portland is great. Okay with giving away Brian Bayo because look at what we got in Jake Bennett.
So I look at Cedar Rafaela and I think there's a guy who
keep him forever.
Came up here, but it took him. I mean, he's having a good season right now, but this took 3 years of major league play, 1,500 at bats. To get to the guy that we see right now, it takes time. Like, you can't look at Franklin Arias and say, okay, you're ripping it in AA. You're going to come up and you're going to be our guy, because that doesn't happen. We've already watched it happen. We've watched these guys burn out right in front of us. So I guess I just wonder, what's going to happen if Craig Breslow's in charge, which he is. Does he have it in him to make a seismic move? Are we gonna look down at our phone or we'll be watching SportsCenter and say, this just in, the Red Sox made this move, and they packaged everybody together and sent him out of town. And I guess, what's the return? What would you
be a Bobby Witt, a Francisco Lindor,
someone else to
like
play
that? You'd
shortstop.
probably throw Arias in there if you're getting one of those guys, because those guys are shortstop of the future.
You're taking a big named right-handed hitting shortstop.
If you are going to buy for this team, you need to go out and you need to buy a star. You need to buy someone that we watched on Tuesday night. Like, you need to go out and you need to buy someone that drastically changes things. You can't go out and get a James Paxton and Nathaniel Lowe. Like, you can't go out and make these minimal moves that don't really do much for you at the deadline. You need to go out and you need to buy. And I think it's been, 5 years since this team has made a big move like that at the deadline, since they brought in Kyle Schwarber back in 2021. If you are buying for this team, you're buying, and you're buying hard. If you are, the one thing you can't do is toe the line. You can't not buy for this team and not make a playoff push and sacrifice all those returns for Sonny Gray. Like, if you are not going to trade Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman and bankroll, like prospects for the future and good young players, then you have to go out and you have to buy for this team. You have to buy for this team and make a push, because this team on its own isn't really going to make much of a push late in October. Maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they make a run at the second wild card, but they're not going past the division series as they are right now. So if you are going to give up on those, if you're saying, no, we don't want any returns for Sonny Gray, we're going to keep him, we'll play it out. We don't want any returns for Aroldis Chapman, we'll keep him, we'll play it out. You need to take some of those young guys you mentioned, and you need to flip them for a star. Like, I think you only have two options here, and I'm afraid that they're going to choose the third.
What happens when some of these guys start to get healthy? What happens when, let's just say, Garrett Crochet comes back? Do you expect? I asked you these questions before.
You got a full lefty lineup with Sonny Gray. When Garrett Crochet comes back, you're going Gray, Tolley, Early, Bennett. Those are all lefties.
Do you expect to see any of the following back this year? Trevor Story, Garrett Crochet, Roman Anthony. Do you expect him to be playing baseball for the Red Sox?
Honestly, the first one is the one I expect the most. Because Garrett Crochet thrown a baseball yet? Roman Anthony can't grab a bat. I don't know what he's doing. Like I said earlier, they've got him in solitary confinement in a padded room, and they're giving him hallucinogens, and they're just playing him visions of like selflessness and teamwork and stuff like that, and they're just positively brainwashing him.
So then what? So we're gonna just go and make this run with this Red Sox team without the guys, like the bedrock. Like, you're gonna make it with like the subs, like it's almost like the replacements, like the guys that crossed the picket line that were able to play for your baseball team, in a strike year, or your football team in a strike year, like the Keanu Reeves movie there.
Exactly,
right?
And they're playing over their heads. Like, these are the guys. This is your plan B, maybe even plan C in some spots. And Anthony Siegler's playing over his head. Jake Bennett was one of the best pitchers in the league in June and July. Like, these guys are playing over their heads. How much longer can they do it without the reinforcements from the Garrett Crochets? And I'd be shocked if we see Rowan Anthony back this year. I really would.
Isn't it fun that it's going to play out right in front of us?
Yeah.
You're going to get 2 games on Friday. What the way you could be feeling off a 9-game win streak, it's going to be could be so seismically different because Tampa's had your number, right?
Yeah, and they're the best team in the AL.
And Tampa's really good. And okay, so now we got what, Jake Bennett out there at 135 on Friday afternoon. Okay, it's going to be a fever pitch in Boston, right? And can you answer the call? Like, you've had a week of you're the only story and really the only thing worth. We've like the headlines. We're kind of past Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Diana Rossini's, gone, right?
She's on a cruise with her husband.
Christian Gonzalez is still looking for that contract, but that's just sort of but the Red Sox are the story. They played themselves back into it, and you got a doubleheader on Friday in Boston, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can answer the call.
If this team does answer the call and they play themselves into territory where you've got to buy for them at the deadline and you don't, that's going to kill them just as much as selling. Just like it did last year, just like it did the year before, where the team was making pushes towards the deadline and then they get the vote of no confidence from the front office and it ruins everything they've done.
I think that there's a world where you can be the buyers at the deadline, but also do some things for the long term that help you. Like if there's a decision that Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, they're not good together. We got to get Marcelo Meyer out of here because, like you said, you got Franklin Arias and you got this Sealer kid and you got this and you also got Trevor Story for another year under contract, right? So is he worthy of it? No, but he's at least going to be the guy that he's on the team.
He's not going to corrupt Roman Anthony's mind.
So like you can do a couple things that potentially could maybe help you because you can't tell me there's someone who doesn't look at Brian Bayo and say 2 years ago this guy won 14 games. Let me get my hands on him. Let me get him out of what you guys are doing, get him in my clubhouse and let me work on him. Look at Marcelo Meyer. Let me get my hands on him. Look at Christian Campbell. Let me get my hands on him. And those three pieces, which, yeah, right, the value probably has never been lower, especially
throw
on
in
Campbell.
Jarren Duran and the value probably goes down.
And so I think that there's a world where, like, you can't tell me somebody's not interested in getting their hands on those guys and sending you back something that helps you here and now, and also probably clears up some mistakes you made, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can get Christian Campbell off the books, don't
Yeah,
parade.
that's great. Yeah. And I think with some of these players and the contracts they have, though, like Campbell, like how bad Duran's doing this year, you're almost going to have to throw in someone good to get somebody to take these guys.
Yeah.
Kind of like those Dodgers trades. Like, you're going to have to throw in someone good to get someone to take Jarren Duran off your hands. He hasn't done anything since 2024. You're going to have to throw in someone good to have someone take Christian Campbell off your hands. He's a mid-200 hitter in AAA and got sent down after one good month in the big leagues. Like, if you want someone to take these guys and you don't have to pay them, kind of like what the Cardinals are doing with Gray, you're going to have to throw in someone decent. You're going to have to throw in a sweetener.
And so what will be interesting is, we're going to watch it all play out with the next 10 games at home. And when it all comes down to it, who's making the decisions? Is it Craig Breslow? Is it Theo Epstein? It's just so it'll be interesting to see. And we're going to get to watch 2 games tomorrow. And I can't wait to watch the first one. And then we'll see about the second one, right? You get beat 10-0 by Tampa at home. And it's like, okay, who wants Sonny Gray? It's just that quick. It's all going to happen just like that. Okay, this day in history coming your way next. Don't go away. Happy birthday to Stuart Copeland, drummer from The Police. Played on Roxanne, born this day in 1952. 1439, kissing is banned in England to stop the spread of the Black Death. There you go.
Dark times.
Take that, bad lettuce.
We don't even know what it was like. We got it good.
I got it, yeah.
Hey, we're complaining.
Lettuce is making me have to go to the potty.
Oh, lettuce is making me skinny.
Yeah. Kissing banned in order to stop the spread of the Black Death. Wow. Be like, hey, you been smooching? Be like, no. Why do you have the Black Death?
You got the plague, though.
Yeah. 1661, first banknotes in Europe are issued by the Bank of Stockholm. Okay, there you go. I gave them some gold. They gave me this paper. They say it's worth something. I don't know. I think they fooled you.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. 1951, Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger is published. 1969, Apollo 11 launches, carrying the first men to land on the moon. Greg would tell you that didn't happen. Let's see. Sports history, 1909, Detroit Tigers and Washington Senators play longest scoreless game in AL history. It was 18 innings. 1944, the Dodgers scored 8 earned runs against the Braves to win 8-5 and break their 16-game losing streak. Let's see. In 93, San Francisco outfielder Darren Lewis sets a record of 267 consecutive errorless games. All right, impressive. Born today, 1967, Will Ferrell. Happy birthday, Will Ferrell.
Like him. I like a lot of his movies.
I think it's over for Will Ferrell.
You do?
I think it's over. Yeah.
I mean, the days of Old School and Starsky and Hutch are gone, but I still kind of find him funny.
Yeah, he's living that straight to streaming life, though. I guess that's just the way it is. The guys that were funny 20 years ago, now they make movies. Sandler, who else makes movies just for streaming? Wahlberg makes movies just for streaming. All of our movie
Vince
stars.
Vaughn was just on the Larry David show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, went for a whole season.
You got to have some stuff to put on Prime and Netflix, but I'll watch Will Ferrell's, golf show that came out today. But once a star, always a threat.
Yeah.
But I think it's over for Will.
They're still paying a couple $1 million for those straight-to-streaming movies that you do with your friends, and it takes a couple of weeks to film, and you have a blast doing it.
1968, Barry Sanders was born. In 1972, Aaron Glenn, NFL quarterback, kick returner, and coach of the New York Jets. Holidays today, it is Fresh Spinach Day.
I don't think I'm going to celebrate today.
No.
With all that's going on.
It is Personal Chef Day. I am that to my wife.
I am that to my girlfriend.
There you go. You the cook?
Pretty much.
There you go. It is
How times have changed.
Yeah. It is Cherry Day. Well, if you want something done right? Do
it yourself.
I'm good at it. Cherry Day. You guys like that?
Yeah, I'm a big cherry guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a bag in the fridge.
And it is Snake Day. So there you go. Have a cherry. Keep your eyes out. Have some spinach. Maybe hold off on that one. And then say hello to your personal chef. 7 a.m. hour coming your way right after this. Good Thursday morning. Welcome into the Morning Roast. Maine Sports Leader, 92.9 The Ticket. Broadcasting from the Greenway Equipment Studios, your locally owned John Deere dealer. See the Smith Brothers in Bangor and Ellsworth, because nothing runs like a deer. Fat Panda Boba Tea and Market on Harlow Street in Bangor, next to Goslin's Bakery. Sip fresh boba, explore snacks, ramen, and their tasty Jamaican patties. Also visit their brewer location on Wilson Street next to Hannaford. And Next Home, they're the market leader. Get looped and get sold with the Next Home experience. Brian Sullivan, Tyler Krusz, Marqus Cesar here on this Thursday morning. Tyler, how you holding up?
I'm doing great. Doing well. It is a beautiful day out. Looking forward to the weekend, another summer weekend. And yeah.
Marqus, how are you? I'm good. I'm going to get on my soapbox real quick.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark has been she's been frustrating me a little bit. I've been seeing all these clips of all the contacts she's been getting, and sometimes it really just blows me away to what lengths she'll go to try and get a call. Like, did you guys see that one from a couple weeks ago where I don't think there was any contact, and she just grabs your face and like falls backwards like she'd just gotten punched?
She is a very controversial figure. Like, you have U.S. senators like threatening the WNBA, saying like you need to figure out why they're beating up Caitlin Clark. It's crazy. And you look at her analytics numbers, and, she's kind of like a Jaylen Brown. It passes the eye test, but...
Dang.
Well, I mean, how come the Fever haven't done anything?
Exactly.
She's been in the league 3 years. She was hurt for one, I guess, but, they have... she hasn't impacted winning.
Right. Supposed to be the best player in the league, right? When
Paige.
Aja Wilson... Oh,
Paige
okay.
Backers.
Okay.
Got beat by 13 last night by the Valkyries. 88-75. Indiana lost. They are 14-10 on the season.
Yeah, and she was yelling at the ref real hard in that one too.
Well, she's a star, and so she's the reason that the eyes got on the product to start with, and so everyone else is gunning for her. 26 minutes last night, 13 points, 4 of 14 shooting, 1 of 8 for 3 was Caitlin Clark. Interesting stuff. I also
1 of 8 from 3. Yeah. Should have stayed at Iowa.
I also, in the commercial break, I think it's an interesting point that Tyler brought up, and I wonder if it's a world that we could have some sort of a competition, because it's not so much businesses competing against as it is locations. Tyler made the bold claim that Ellsworth has the best pizza around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I lived in Brewer for 3 years. I've lived in Ellsworth for a year and a half, and I'm not saying the pizza over here stinks. The Finelli's and Zeppa's are two of my... I fight with myself every day over what's my favorite of those two. They've got two great pizzas, and then you go a little bit further to Bar Harbor, it's packed, but Rosalie's is unbelievable.
If you are listening and you work for the Ellsworth Chamber of Commerce, you ought to come down and you ought to get Tyler Krusz working for you, because he's sitting here telling Marqus just You haven't lived till you've been strolling through some of the neighborhoods in Ellsworth.
Well, he's like, look at that town you live in. Is it just that one street? And I'm like, no, absolutely not, man.
You got
it's
no
beautiful.
idea how multifaceted Ellsworth is, and Tyler is just you're.
No, I'm a big fan of the pizza out there. I was pleasantly surprised the first couple times we had it. I was like, this is better than any pizza I've had since I moved to Maine.
Yeah, it started to work on me too. Since I know kind of how your commute goes, getting stuck behind a salt truck every morning.
Oh, in
I
the
would
winter,
think
those
about
are the
moving
worst.
out there. But
So, okay, if you're out there and you are a pizza maker, maybe you and some of your fellow pizza makers, and Lincoln, Millinocket, Bangor, Brewer. I mean, we don't.
I haven't tried them all, but I'm just saying. I lived in the Bangor area for 3 years, and the Ellsworth pizza places are better than anything I've had in the Bangor area. There could be some hole-in-the-wall gem in Millinocket. If someone wants to call me and tell me about it, I'd love to check it out. I love a good pizza.
Orono pizza. You got Pat's, you got OHOP, you got
a Pat's in Ellsworth.
Oh, okay, but it's not the original.
Is Orono the original?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Scarborough was. No? Okay.
Read a book sometime.
I should.
Yeah. No, Orono's the original. So, but yeah, okay, that could be and good for us too. No, we're just taste testing a bunch of pizza. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, it would be great.
All right, let's get back on track with some sports here, Mark. Let's do some headlines and highlights. Before we get to it, you're stuck on the side of the road. Union Street Towing has you covered 24/7 statewide, from breakdowns to lockouts, to get you moving fast. 942-4200, driven to be there when you need them most. And Acadia FCU, their newest locations, open on Wilson Street in Brewer, serving Maine since 1963, with branches in Bangor, Brewer, and Aroostook County. Learn more at acadiafcu.org. Okay, Red Sox back in action tomorrow. Wilson Contreras says, I'm not going anywhere.
Worked out well for him, too, with the suspension, because he bangs out 2 of those games in one day. You got a doubleheader, you got a 5-game suspension, you only got 3 games left to serve after it.
So, how do you feel about Contreras falling in love with the city of Boston?
I like it. I said it back when it was almost a given that they were going to sell before this 9-game win streak. If there's anyone I want them to keep, it's Wilson Contreras. Like, he's you got him on an affordable contract for the next couple of years. He's a power-hitting first baseman. You haven't had that in a long time. You haven't had a good starting first baseman really since Mitch Moreland.
And he bats right-handed too. We have nobody who bats right-handed that's worth the
Swings
darn.
for power.
Yeah. Let's see. Krusz Sale also. This one may get you in the feels. He talked about his time in Boston. That hurts.
I think it will. Most of us will. And if you don't, what's your problem?
Well,
seriously, like, you mad that he took a TV off the wall?
Not at all.
TVs are like $50 these days.
What makes me mad is that he was ready to relaunch his career. Didn't he win the Cy Young the
year after? Yeah.
Yeah, he's sitting there. It's like nobody saw him just lifting weights. He's working out like he's 23 years old.
Like, what would be good? Vaughn Grissom.
Woo, yeah, baby.
Which also, yeah.
You did get Garrett Crochet, and you probably don't make that trade without trading Krusz Sale, but he won the Cy Young the year after. Like, he is still Krusz Sale. Struck out Manny Machado to win a World Series. Like, how much? What else does he have to do for us? Who doesn't like him? Call us right now. Tell me. I just want to talk.
Yeah, I don't know who doesn't like him. I mean, I got no ill will, but it's just like that's one of those trades where you're just sitting there, and in the moment you're like, okay, what's this guy going to be? But 2 or 3 years removed, it is the stink has not come off that one, and I don't know that we get enough that they get enough slings or arrows for the stench of that deal, because Krusz Sale's he's talking to David Ortiz at the All-Star game. Couple years removed from it. Yeah, he's an all-star. So just to let that weigh on you a little bit as you get ready for what lies ahead, because, we're potentially going to have some more moves like that coming if this Red Sox team is going to be buyers at the deadline. Available when ordering McDelivery through Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. 2 sausage McMuffins with egg, 2 hotcakes, 4 hash browns, 4 small hot coffees, all for just $19.99. The bundle deal is over 40% off and available for a limited time. Order at your local family-owned McDonald's on Main Street and Union Street in Bangor and Wilson Street in Brewer. And Dairy Queen in Bangor, the new DQ Blizzard, the new DQ Breakfast Collection. You can enjoy a cinnamon toast crunch dipped cone, fruity pebble shake, or the Choco Frosted Donut Blizzard treat. Whether it's breakfast time or not, visit 668 Broadway in Bangor. DQ, happy tastes good. Casella, good pay, good people, good life. Find your place at powerofhardwork.com. And Tim's Plumbing. Mark your calendars for Saturday, August 8th. Ricky Craven Speedway roars to life with Tim's Plumbing 100, featuring Darling's Pro Stock Series and $4,000 to the winner. It's one of the biggest nights of the season. Bring the family out and experience the excitement with the Tim's Plumbing 100 Saturday, August 8th. Tyler, what you got?
So I'm gonna give a couple of you guys a ticket here. I'm looking at the Red Sox, and you guys are clamoring to be this. I am all for them. You're not a real fan. I believe, you don't believe. I'm rooting for them. You're not. You're rooting against them. You're a hater. Look, the minute they lose, they got a 4-game series here. If they lose 3 or 4 to the Rays, you're gonna drop them at the first sign of trouble. Miss me with all that on your high ground, your moral high ground. I'm a Red Sox fan just like everyone else, and I want them to get rid of Craig Breslow because I want them to aim to win World Series. I don't want them to aim to be competitive or aim to compete in the wild card. I want this team to win championships. So, at the first sign of trouble in this second half, you guys are going to drop the Red Sox again. Patriots camp starts next Saturday. If the Red Sox aren't on a 9-game winning streak by the time camp rolls around and they're under 500, we're going to forget about them.
Maybe so. But I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're fun right now. I can't either. I'm excited to watch the games tomorrow, but I'm not pretending like I've been here all along and I'm with them. We've declared them dead. You have too, about 5 times on this show.
Sure, yeah. 100%. But I think what you're going to have is you're going to have some real theater for the next 2 weeks.
It's going to be interesting. There's a reason to watch.
It's a 162-game season, but it really all comes down to the next... Till August 3rd is the trade deadline, right? Yep. So it's July 17th. Baseball starts back up for the Sox. You got a doubleheader. And then it's 2 weeks, essentially, where you figure out what you are or what you aren't. And so every game matters more. And in a 162-game season, it's high stakes. And I think it's nice to have that at a spot where you could really use it as someone who consumes sports. This Red Sox team, it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. And what I don't want to have is half measures, right? That's where you could. That's what you've gotten from the Breslow regime is half measures
in the trade deadline.
Deadline, right? Like, let's get James Paxton, like you said. Let's sell, but also let's buy. Who's the guy that used to catch? They sent to Houston. Whoever
Vasquez.
Yeah, let's trade him, but let's also bring something back. That was kind of a selling move right there, right? Yeah. So just either do it or don't. Like, I'm not gonna. You can't at this point. I don't think you can be critical of them for buying at this point because the American League is what it is and you've played yourself into it. But if the Rays spank your little bottoms and...
Are you buying? Like, I don't want them to buy if the Rays spank. I don't want to give up. It's not that I don't want them to buy. It's that, like, if the Rays spank us and we're not going to be good and we're not going on a run, like, and if we've come to the grips at that fact, then we can't miss out on those returns for Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman and guys like that. And if we're going to buy, what are we buying with? Does anybody want Jarren Duran? Does anybody want Marcelo Meyer after ownership has gone on record and kind of trashed him multiple times this year? Does anybody want Trevor Story? What about Sonny Gray and Ranger Suarez are probably your 2 guys that you could buy with. Peyton Tolley and Connolly Early.
You've got young
arms
pitching in the minor leagues.
So that's what you're going to have to give up.
Yeah.
Is, like the Ianson or the Sandoval.
Yeah. Well, Sandoval is probably a good example of someone they could do without.
Yeah.
Sandoval is a guy is probably valuable to another organization. That's a half measure.
Does anyone want to kick the tires on Tanner Houck? All-star from a couple of years ago? Like, what? Other than pitching, we don't really have much offense to buy with.
Sure.
Which is fine. Pitching costs us as much. But yeah, I'm just trying to think out loud here. What are we buying with?
So, I mean, I think it's probably if the conversations begin with a couple of guys that you probably don't want to give up, but there are some arms they're going to be valuable to someone else. But if you're talking like seismic, if you're talking the guy who plays shortstop here for the next 5-6 years, who's like under contract, like I'll just say the guy for the Mets, who granted just gave you a win on Sunday, Francisco Lindor, signed to a big old contract. They say he doesn't really get along with Juan Soto, like the clubhouse, the Mets. That's just not working. Whatever's going on with the Mets, an example where they got an owner who has all the money in the world, tried to buy a championship, and it's just not really working, right? Yeah. Like that Juan Soto deal is a tough one. And so he and Lindor maybe don't get along, maybe, or there's a chance where he comes in. If you want to have a guy like that or a frontline shortstop, maybe Zach Neto from the Angels is a rumor that's out there. The Sox tried to get him in the offseason, but the price was too high. You're probably talking like Conley Early, right? You're talking one of these guys that you've come to like. Early, Tolley, Bennett, one of these guys that's on the squad who's a real reason for all that's happened. If you want to get something really good, I mean, there's a world where if you want to have Trevor Story not be a part of this, you might have to give Trevor Story and Conley early to a team to get Trevor Story off the books.
Or Jaron Duran and Peyton Tolley, something like that.
Well, Jaron Duran doesn't make that much money. So, like, just to get rid of Jaron Duran, like, you're talking, like, Trevor Story's making money that you'd like to not be paying. So that's the sort of stuff. If you want to get something, because you're right, you've done a good job of pretty much denting the cans that are Marcelo Meyer, that are Christian
Campbell. You've let your
Campbell.
assets really depreciate.
Brian Bayo, I don't think we could have seen, I could not have seen the Brian Bayo thing coming. Maybe Marcelo Meyer, he didn't really hit last year. It's a little surprising that he's hit as little as he has, especially what we were told about him.
I am shocked that Jaron Duran still isn't hitting 200.
It's true.
We haven't talked about that. He's the fourth worst hitter in all of baseball among qualified hitters in OPS. He's terrible. He's a bottom 10 player in the league.
Crazy.
Yeah. He was an all-star in 2024, all-star MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not great with the glove, and he's a bottom 5 hitter.
Right. I mean, but there are some upsides to some of these guys, right? Like Jaron Duran, he plays games. He doesn't miss games. He's fast. There's potential.
I'd like him to miss games. I'd like him not to have 5 at-bats a day.
There is a track record of guys leaving Boston and then getting better. I'm sure that there are going to be some other teams that see that. And, I mean, I think we talked about it.
I'm okay with that.
At some point.
I'm okay with that. If Jaron Duran goes to the Brewers and finds a resemblance of himself, that's fine. I am perfectly fine with that. I'd rather him do that than continue to stink here.
No, exactly.
Good for him if he finds a semblance of himself. Yeah.
And that's my point. Like, there is value in these guys, and I think some of these organizations can see that. So we just got to find the teams that think that.
I'm sure that there are some. So we'll see. I think it all comes down to really wins and losses with the guys that are going to play. And, oh, by the way, like you mentioned, Contreras is serving a suspension, so you're going to go against the Rays without the guy who hits the ball out of the ballpark. And, oh, by the way, you've been really bad against ALA's teams, and you've been even worse at home.
Yeah.
So everything that's gotten you into this spot, all those wins came on the road. For whatever reason, you don't hit well at Fenway Park. You don't play well at Fenway Park. So are we expecting that to change as of tomorrow at 1:35?
I don't know. You told me you just kind of put a damper on it. I was really excited to watch that game at 1:35.
Well, if they can do it without, I'm still excited. I just think, you don't have Contreras, and you've been bad at home. You've been bad against the AL East. And so, okay, you're now winners of nine straight games.
All the eyes are on you, too. Like, if you blow this, everybody's going to watch you lose.
You got a doubleheader at Fenway tomorrow. Like, okay, like, it's almost like, are you up to the task? Can you beat Tampa with Jake Bennett, with everybody watching? Everybody's, around, vacation, whatever. You got a packed house for 2 at Fenway Park. You got the fighting Greg Hirsch is coming down on Saturday. Like, are you ready to have Greg Hirsch watch you play baseball and potentially boo you? So be prepared, because he'll do it. Let's see. Dean's Detailing is the leader in auto detailing for over 55 years. Renew your vehicle's appearance, protect your auto investment, look good and feel good in a clean, shiny car. Book your appointment at deansdetailing.com. And let's see, connect to our social channels, 929 The Ticket on Facebook, 929 The Ticket on Instagram, sports.net.maine on TikTok, and our YouTube page, Sportsnet Maine. Back with more next. Welcome back to the Morning Roast. Dean's Detailing has been the leader in auto detailing for over 55 years. Renew vehicle's appearance, protect your auto investment, look good and feel good in a clean, shiny car. Book your appointment at deansdetailing.com. Brian Sullivan, Tyler Krusz, Marqus Cesar here on this Thursday morning. Going to talk with Larry Mahoney in a couple of minutes here, but Patriots getting ready to head to training camp in about a week. Burt Breer talking about Kayshon Boutte.
So Kyle Williams is there to replace Boutte. I'm surprised that nobody was offering at least a 5th for him on draft weekend. Does that mean, are we expecting people to offer him more for that now?
I guess so. But it also seems as though they are the Patriots in a spot where they can be selectively trying to find the best spot for Kayshon Boutte. Are we ready to say goodbye to Kayshon Boutte because you've got 4 guys ahead of him seemingly on the depth chart?
Well, if he's not going to play much, yeah. If he's not going to play and he's going to want money after this year, let's go send him out and see what we can get for him, because we're not going to pay him after this year. So it's either let him walk or get a 5th-round pick or a 4th-round pick. Like you're not gonna go out of your way to re-sign Kayshon Boutte when you already have A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs and Kyle Williams.
It really, to me, it seems like it's a Kyle Williams conversation where he's a guy who at times you're like, okay, drafted him in the 3rd round a couple years ago. What's he gonna be? And it would appear if you're ready to say goodbye to Kayshon Boutte, well, then that Kyle Williams is getting better, is looked at in the room as someone who's going to be a contributor, because if you look at the receivers, they have Brown, Doubs, Hollins, Williams. Williams is sort of the difference of those 3 guys, because those other 3 guys are big, they can block, and Boutte's a little bigger, thicker. So Williams is that different thing. Also, you got Pop Douglas, right?
Yeah, you forgot about him, yeah.
So I guess that you look at that, and Kayshon Boutte's the odd man out, because he's also the one who I remember, getting deep a couple of times and having a nice connection with Drake May.
I think it's just a positional thing, and I think Kyle Williams, everybody's job is going to be easier with A.J. Brown out there. Kyle Williams, Mac Hollins, Romeo Doubs, everyone. But it's a positional thing, and you're not going to play Kayshon Boutte much during the games, and you're not going to pay him after this year, so let's see what you can get for him. And I think after last year and what you've done this offseason, you're in a much better position to go try and do right by him than you were a year ago or 2 years ago. That would be unquestionable 2 years ago.
Do you think this Patriots team is going to have any issues when you run through all that and the fact that you want to be a running team, when all the options? Do you think touches and targets are ever going to be an issue for this Patriots team?
No, because I think you have the clear alpha. I think A.J. Brown will get his 8 to 10 targets a game regardless, just because he's that much better than Romeo Doubs and that much better than everyone else out there. And he's a guy that can bend defenses. Defenses have to... We've been saying this for years. We haven't had anybody that a defense looks at and says, all right, we got a game plan for this guy. This guy could torch us. A.J. Brown's that guy. He's the best guy you've had as a target since Gronkowski.
It's going to be interesting. And the fact that just signing those 2 guys now makes Boutte, who arguably was your best downfield option.
Yeah, he was
last
by
year.
far.
And now you're ready to find the best spot for him, where maybe he should be a Washington Commander or something like that, because that's what seems to fit best. It's interesting to have played yourself into a spot where you are thinking more about what's best for this guy and his next step, and to see him get paid, because you're so good at the position that the guy who was your best downfield option, who had a clear connection with Drake May, is really not in the mix. I have no spot for you any longer. And also maybe they watched this tape of the Super Bowl when he couldn't get open at all.
I just remember, last year with those first couple connections to Stephon Diggs and those first couple highlight plays, it was almost like, this is what we've been missing. Years of Devontae Parker and Dudu Smith-Schuster. This is what we've been missing. And, A.J. Brown is Stephon Diggs to a whole nother level. I'm so excited to see this. And I don't care, if the return's going to be a 4th-round pick to a 6th-round pick, does it really matter what you get back for Kayshon Boutte? Or, do you want to do right by him? Because now this story's out there. The next free agent's reading that, and they're like, oh, when it's time for me to go, the Patriots, they're going to do right by me.
All right, we'll see. Okay, quick commercial break. Gonna talk to Larry Mahoney from the Bangor Daily right after this. Also want to know if you missed any of our Ticket TV games, no problem. Every game's available on demand at 929theticket.com and on the Ticket app. All right, back with Larry right after this. Welcome back. Hero Sports Grill and Entertainment Center. Hero's the official sports grill of the Roast in downtown Bangor and at herosportsgrill.com. Now joining us on the Heroes Hotline, Larry Mahoney. Larry, how are you?
Good, Sully. How you doing? Of course, that is Pink, born Alicia Moore in Pennsylvania. That song, Get the Party Started, was from her second album, Misunderstood. It was written by Linda Perry of Four Non Blondes. It was first offered to Madonna. Madonna passed on it, and Pink jumped on it. For her, it peaked at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard charts in 2001, went to number 1 in 7 countries, number 2 in 10 other countries. And the video for this won the Top Dance Video Award and Best Female Video Award on MTV. Great song, in my top 100. You just can't stop tapping your foot to it.
Really is a good one, but the Turtles, that is not. So always different from what Larry gives us one week to the next, but certainly that one, I'm very familiar with that one. Larry, I want to ask you, last 2 days...
For her, Sully, I mean, she had 15 top 10 hits and 8 top 5 hits in the U.S. So I mean, and her career's still going.
She's great. I mean, you see her on the show she put on at Fenway. I didn't go, but I saw the clips of it. She's like on a high wire, whipping all around the entire stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she dazzled Fenway like nobody really has that I've seen play the place. So she puts on
known for that.
Yeah. A live show like no other. Speaking of putting on a show, we saw Argentina storm back yesterday. Last 2 days, we've seen World Cup semifinals. What do you make of what we've been able to watch the last 2 afternoons?
Well, I mean, I feel for England. You know, they haven't won a World Cup since 1966. Actually, I think I was living in England when they won it in 1966, and you know, how often do you see it, Sully? Because you've seen 1,000 sports as I have, and a team, a low-scoring game, a team finally scores, and then they sit back and try to protect it instead of going for a second goal, and their manager Thomas Tuchel told Harry Kane, their captain, you know, let's go get another goal. Let's not sit back. But then he substituted backs for strikers, for attackers. So I don't know, kind of a mixed message there. And they sat back, and of course Argentina had to play with urgency. And Lionel Messi, I mean, the ageless one, 2 assists. Enzo Fernandez's goal was a beauty from about 24 yards, curled it into the corner to the right of Jordan Pickford, and then a beautiful header off a perfect cross by Messi. So, I mean, I feel for England, but Argentina was clearly the better team at the end. They scored 3 goals in the last 11 minutes to beat Egypt in the quarterfinals. I mean, they've made a habit of coming from behind, and you know, you learn a valuable lesson. When you get a lead, we've seen it so many times. You relax for a second. You finally broken through, and all of a sudden you're back on your heels. You're not having any kind of possession. You're just clearing the ball, and eventually a highly skilled team like Argentina is going to make you pay, and that's what happened.
Larry,
Spain's been great. They've only allowed 1 goal in the entire tournament. So I mean, it should be a good final.
Larry, I look at England, and, you know, like, they've had some of the best players in recent memory, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, you know, and they another semifinals match, but just, you know, like you said, 50, 60 years since they were able to win. What's gone wrong for them, or is it just, you know, unlucky in these late stages?
It's been a lot of different things. I mean, they've had players get red cards in critical games. David Beckham got a red card in one World Cup. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if something's missing. Like in this game yesterday, once they got the lead, I mean, that's not when you take your foot off the gas. But I don't know. I mean, when I consider the Premier League the best league in the world, and of course Enzo Fernandez, who plays for Argentina, plays for Chelsea in that league, and some of their best players like Jude Bellingham doesn't even play in England. Plays in I'm not sure where he plays, but I think another European league, maybe the Bundesliga. Harry Kane plays in the Bundesliga, which is the German top league. But I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint what goes wrong. But even England had to come from behind to beat the Congo, and it's hard to pinpoint. I think one game it's one thing, maybe lack of defending. Maybe another game where they get eliminated, they have chances but they don't finish. But I mean, they were playing well, and actually they defended well. They actually protected the lead for half an hour until Fernandez scored with 5 minutes left in regulation, and then the game winner in stoppage time, and it's just one of those things. Some teams are just cursed, and they're cursed. They just can't get over that hump and win the World Cup. I mean, up 1-0 with 5 minutes left in regulation, and you listen to the Sirius radio, and they're blaming the manager Thomas Tuchel for again putting defenders in. and replacing some of his attackers with defenders to try to protect the lead. Even though Harry Kane said in the post game that the manager Tuchel told him, "Look, let's not sit back. Let's go get another goal." But Harry Kane said we did. He said we sat back. He said that's on us. We gave it everything we had, but we got the lead, and then we just kind of sat back and tried to protect it, and it bit them.
Larry, I wanted to ask you, sad news comes this week, the passing of Bruce McGregor, Hassan Hall of Famer. What can you say about the legacy, what he was like, what the legacy he leaves behind?
He was the epitome of class. He was just a totally classy man. He cared about others more than he cared about himself. I mean, he would always ask you about yourself and your family. Just a really very charismatic, just somebody that you feel very fortunate to have had him in your life, whether it be as a friend or and just somebody that you got to know over time, and his record speaks for itself. And one of the quotes, I think it was from Rick Sinclair, said, no matter what he coached, no matter whatever he did, he was a winner. He coached baseball, he coached golf, he coached basketball at Hassan. He's in 5 halls of fame, and just a really, really nice person, a devoted family man, and it's really a sad day for Eastern Maine, and I had a place, of course, down in Naples, Florida, so I'm sure that community feels his loss also.
Just a guy who, like you said, did so much, but had such a widespread impact on Hassan, and everything he touched seemed to be improved, and even passing the torch. I remember when Jason Harvey got the golf job over there. Bruce McGregor kind of handed the baton to him, and just such a guy who he left Hassan in such a better place than he found it.
He certainly did. And those are people that. Those are people that put your university on the map. I mean, and like we said, I mean, anytime you're inducted into 5 halls of fame, then you are certainly making a widespread impact. And a great family. His wife Krusz, and obviously one of the daughters, Bessie, passed, but Jill and David, just a wonderful family, and a terrific human being. He's certainly going to be missed.
All right, Larry, we appreciate you as always. Hopefully you get a nice swim in, and appreciate the insight. What can you give me? Who you got in the final? You got Spain, you got Argentina.
I got Spain winning 2-1.
Okay, there you go. Spain 2-1. Mark it down. Larry, you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, enjoy. Thanks, Sully. Take care. Have a good one.
Larry Mahoney from the Bangor Daily News. They are joining us as always, as he does on Thursdays. Okay, our takeaways coming your way right after this. All right, welcome back to the Morning Roast this afternoon. You got Mark and Ernie playing Drive On. They've got Chris Hatfield from SoxProspects.com and Tim Kenny. He's going to talk about the need for high school football referees. So learn from Tim Kenny about how you can grab a whistle and help out. What are you leaving with this afternoon or today there, Tyler?
I'm going to leave it with, I'll quote one of my favorite shows of all time, The Sopranos and Carmine Lupertazzi Jr. The Red Sox are at the precipice of an enormous crossroads. What are you going to do these next 4 games? What are you going to do these next couple of weeks? That's all going to it's a 162-game season, but this period from now until the trade deadline is really going to determine what happens in the fall.
Yeah, are the Red Sox going to be like little Carmine? Are they going to the moment's going to be too big for them?
It might be too big for them.
Get a little scared for the Red Sox?
Without Contreras this weekend, that's going to be a tough one. If you can get split this weekend, I'll still be on the train when we come in on Tuesday.
We'll be here on Monday.
I won't be here Monday. When I come in on Tuesday.
Yeah, okay. We'll see if it's the train still on the tracks. Marcus, what about yourself?
I'm really curious to see what happens with Keishon Boutte. He is, I think, could make a really great third. But, I mean, you guys have some other decent options. And on top of that, you got A.J. Brown. I mean, can't think of a better target than him. So that usage is going to go way down.
Trade your Boutte for Achan.
So
no comment.
I'll go with back to the Boston Red Sox here. As we're sitting here, we have SportsCenter up in the corner of the studio, and the Red Sox are Buster Olney's talking about the Boston Red Sox and what they do or what they won't do when the trade deadline comes around. So you've played yourselves into the conversation, right? Like you are, are you going to keep your guys? Are you going to sell your guys? I can't wait to see. I really think as Red Sox fans, I think in our hearts we want them to be successful, whether having Craig Breslow be the guy that makes all the decisions. I think that the jury's still out on that one. But with the jury still being out, I'm not sure that moving off of Craig Breslow is the right thing, because I've said it a million times. I don't know that it's Craig Breslow's fault that Roman Anthony is not playing baseball and that Marcelo Meyer would rather be at Cask and Flagon than at batting practice, So I wonder what happens, and I think we're going to get to watch it over the next 4 days against the best team in the AL East. Do you have what it takes to go head-to-head with the Tampa Rays, which 10, 20 years ago, they were the Devil Rays.
Fenway South.
And we, love to see them come to town. But now they're good. And you're not going to have Contreras. And so now you got a doubleheader tomorrow. Let's see. Okay. It's the ball's in your court, Boston Red Sox. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. That's going to wrap it up for the Thursday edition of the Morning Roast. Don't forget summer schedule. Yeah, Friday's off. Back on Monday at 6 a.m. Have a great day.